We'll go ahead and get started. Thank you to all the parents and guardians that are joining us for this session. We're very excited to walk you through all of the information that we have for you about how paper can be a great resource to help your students academically. Before we get started with that presentation, let's do quick introductions. This is a little bit about us. My name is Carla, and I'm a learning experience specialist here at Paper.
Hey everybody, my name is Brennan, and I'm a partner marketing associate here at Paper. Okay, so let's go over what today's agenda looks like. We have three main topics that we're going to be going over today. The first section is Learn, where we're going to learn about the Paper platform and just dive a little bit about what makes a Paper tutor so special. Moving on, for our Explore section, we're going to go through a live demo of the platform and show you just how simple Paper is to navigate for your student and how easy and simple it is to connect with a tutor and get academic support whenever you need. And last but not least, the Implement section, where we're going to equip you with helpful resources, helpful guides, and just overall great information that you can use to get started with Paper with your student at home today. So now let's go over the Learn section of our presentation. But before we dive in, we think it's super important we share our mission statement with you here. And to put it a little differently than what you're seeing on the screen, our purpose is to make sure that every student knows they have free 24/7 tutoring and writing support access so they can come to class prepared and ready to succeed every single day.
Perfect. And with that mission being shared, we want to dive right into all of the different features that your students can use when they access Paper. The first thing that we want to mention is that this resource is completely free for your students to use. So this is 24/7, it is free, and it is also accessible in different languages. Here we support students that feel more comfortable speaking maybe in English, Spanish, French, and Mandarin. So your students can also receive the help that they need in the way that they feel most comfortable. Now, we're going to cover the three main features of Paper. The first one is live help. This is where your students can connect with tutors, again, 24/7, to start chat-based tutoring sessions. So here, when we say 24/7, we really mean 24/7. So if your students maybe are similar students like me that were involved or are involved in extracurricular activities, maybe they use the weekends to catch up on work, or maybe they have projects over the holidays that they need to complete, they can go ahead and access a tutor at any of these points to get that support and get their questions answered. Very important here that it's chat-based tutoring, so they're going to be able to message with tutors and get that support. The second feature that we have here at Paper is Review Center. This is where your students can upload any type of writing assignments to receive feedback from our tutors. So here, students can go ahead and upload any short paragraphs, any essays, any lab reports for maybe science courses. And for students that are in higher grades, they can also go ahead and upload any college personal statements and job and scholarship applications so that they can make revisions before they submit or send to their teachers for a grade. The last item that we have here for your student, the last feature, is PaperLive. And now this one we're very excited about because this is a completely new feature that we're launching in the platform for this back to school season. And this is where your students can go ahead and access different after school entertaining and educational live shows that are available for students K through 9. So here, students can go ahead and browse through a catalog of different subjects that they can explore. So if they maybe want to expand their learning after school hours, if you want to make sure that they're always learning something new in a fun and entertaining way, this is the feature for them. Here we offer classes that range all the way from STEM, math, Spanish, to even financial literacy. So definitely something to look forward to when your students access Paper.
So now that we've covered a few of the different main features that you can find on the Paper platform and that your student can access today, let's learn a little bit more about the Paper tutors and what makes them so special. So to begin, Paper tutors come from varying backgrounds, whether it be students studying for their master's, studying for their PhD, and even their bachelor's. We have tutors coming in from many different backgrounds. We have former teachers who still have a strong passion to teach and to lead students to solutions, results, and just positive outcomes at the end of the day. Tutors are rigorously vetted before they start. And not only that, but each tutor is taught the paper method. So let's talk about that. So the paper method is an abbreviation for positive, adaptable, patient, engaging, and respectful. And each tutor undergoes the paper method training before they start their first day. And the whole goal and purpose of the paper method is to build the students' confidence. And how do they do that? Well, paper is unlimited, so students can stay connected with tutors for as long as they like, up until they understand the material and truly feel confident about what they were taught, what kind of notes they took earlier in class, and just overall preparedness, whether it be for tests, state testing, or if you're a high school student, AP tests, and more. Not only that, but the paper method stimulates critical thinking. And how does it do that exactly? Well, paper tutors do not give away the answer to students. Even if the student asks, hey, can I get the answer to this question? Sorry, tutors are trained to ask thoughtful questions to get students thinking about what they already know, what they've tried, and how to best move forward with whatever problem, with whatever assignment that they have. And last but not least, how does the paper method foster independence? Well, like I said, since paper is 24/7 and unlimited, students no longer have to send their teacher an email at 7 p.m. and wait till 10 p.m. to get a response from them. They can start a session whenever they want, whether it be 2 in the morning, whether it be at 9 p.m. Tutors will always be connected, and students can feel a great sense of responsibility by being able to take action of their educational outcomes.
And something else that's very important for us to share with you parents is student privacy and safety. This is something that we take very, very seriously here at Paper. So for this reason, we are taking different measures to ensure that your students are working securely in the platform every single time. So first things first, sessions will only show the student's first name, last initial, and their grade level. That's all the information that tutors will be able to see when interacting with your students in the platform. Secondly, students work with a new tutor every session. So we do this primarily because of privacy and safety, but also because we offer this resource 24/7. We want to ensure that there's always someone accessible for your student to receive support. Now, there is also very important aspects in terms of how they're going to interact. We did mention before that all of the interactions are chat-based. That means that at the moment, there is no video or audio for students to access. However, we do have different tools that they can use to help them communicate with the tutors. And lastly, we also have platform managers that are trained to ensure that students are working securely in the platform, right? So they're going to be monitoring the sessions to see if there's any inappropriate behavior, any worrisome language in the conversations with the tutors. And we do enforce the student code of conduct that we have here at Paper, and also a flagging system. So if whenever these occurrences happen, we're going to go ahead and flag those sessions. That means that teachers will be able to see those flags. And this is a good time to mention that teachers will be able to see the sessions that your students are having, the interactions with the tutors, what kind of questions they're asking. And this is in no way to get your student to feel nervous about reaching out for help, but we definitely want to make sure that everyone that's involved or in the student's learning environment can have that open communication to know where the learning gaps are. So this helps us do that. So by flagging those sessions, teachers are going to become aware if there's any issues with student usage of the platform. And in some occasions, if it's necessary, we also bring up the conversation to a school administrator so that they can take the appropriate measures with the students. Now with that, now that we have learned all about Paper, what we offer, about our amazing tutors that are here to support your students, let's go ahead and move on to the Explore section. And here in this section, we're going to go ahead and separate it into 3 subsections. So the first one is going to be how to log in. So that's going to be the first item. We're going to explore how your student can get access to the platform. Then we're going to go ahead and take a quick look at different tools that your student can access in their student dashboard. And then we're going to go and explore very deeply all of the different features that they can also use when they're entering their Paper account. So let's get to see what that all looks like. First, how can your students access paper today? Now, because we do have different parents that are representing not only different grade bands, but also different school districts, we're going to go ahead and cover a general rule of thumb for how your students can access paper. If you have any questions that are specific about your district, we highly encourage you to reach out to us. We're going to go ahead and leave you with our email address with parents that you can use, or you can also feel free to reach out to your school administrators. Now, general rule of thumb, if your student has access to a school portal such as ClassLink, Clever, or maybe they access different educational materials that the district is offering through their district portal, they can go ahead and use that. That's going to be the easiest and the quickest way that they can access the paper platform. All they have to do is go to their school portal, and they're going to go ahead and look for this icon. It's going to be a blue and white P icon that they can click on, and that's going to give them access to their paper account. Now, if your student does not have access to one of these school portals, no worries. They can go directly to our website. It's app.paper.co. And what students can do here, we have a very easy login process. All they have to do is type the name of their school or district into that box that we see here. And that's going to give them access to be able to log into paper. Now, very important to note here that your student is not going to need to create any new usernames or passwords or use any personal information. We work very closely with the districts to ensure that they have a very easy and safe experience. So all they're going to need to use is the Google accounts or school credentials that are coming from the district. So I know that was quite a bit of information, so let's get to see what logging in actually looks like. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go to that website that I just shared on the screen in the presentation before. It's app.paper.co. And once again, very easy login process. All students are going to need to do is type the name of their school or district. So I'll go ahead and use one of our districts as an example. I'll start typing here Huntington. And here it is. Here I can already see the different schools that belong to that district. I'll go ahead and select the first one as an example. Students that attend Huntington High School can go ahead and click on the arrow. And here, again, they're going to use the Google accounts that are associated with their school district. So I'll go ahead and click on that. And that's going to take them directly to their student dashboard. Now, mine looks a little different, so I'll go ahead and make the switch to the student view. And here we are. This is what your students are going to see when they first log into paper. Now, something here, we're going to go ahead and go through some of the very useful tools that we have here in the dashboard for your student. The very first one is going to be the profile. Now, we can't see it because I've already logged in before, but as soon as your student first logs in, they're going to be able to complete their student profile. That means that they can personalize it and answer key questions that are going to be super helpful when they're reaching out for help. So we are going to go ahead and access it by going to settings, so they can actually do this if they ever want to make edits to what they first selected when they first logged in. But here, they're going to get the chance to select their own avatar. Here we have different characters that they can select from, so they can select the one that they like, one that really stands out to them. And they're going to be able to answer those key questions that we mentioned. So the first one is, how comfortable are they with the subjects that they're taking? So here they can let us know, hey, with math, I'm not feeling so great. I'm having a lot of questions about what we're covering. So they can let us know how they feel. Maybe they feel great with history. I feel like I got that subject down. And this way, when they're working with tutors, they're actually going to be able to see the responses that they had for these questions. So for example, if that student enters a math tutoring session, the tutor can see, okay, that student is not feeling so great about this subject. Maybe they might need a little bit more assistance when it comes to the explanations. So that's going to be super, super helpful. And the second question is, how do you study best? So we do know that students work very differently. We want to make sure that we can try to support as best as possible. So if students need to work a little bit more visually, if they need to talk through it to really understand that concept, or maybe they just need to go take it step by step, go slow and get that assistance from the tutor, they're going to be able to adapt their explanations based on these responses. So super, super helpful. Going back here to the dashboard, we also mentioned before that we provide assistance in different languages. So this button is where your students can go ahead and make their language preference selection. So once again, our assistance is provided in English, French, Spanish, and Mandarin. So they can go ahead and make their selection there and be able to connect with a tutor that speaks that language to receive support. And something else that's super, super cool about the student dashboard is achievements. So this is a whole new aspect of the platform that we rolled out as well this year. And this is to further incentivize students to come back and have those questions answered, to make sure that they're having those tutoring sessions, that they're getting their essays reviewed or their writing assignments reviewed. Here is where they can get trophies, badges, and points for using the platform. So what they can do is basically complete challenges. Now, in order to complete a challenge, students need to, one, complete a tutoring session. Two, they need to rate that session, and we're going to show you how students can go ahead and do that. And third, they can go ahead and upload a writing assignment to get revisions. Again, this is to really encourage students to come back and be independent in asking their questions. So they can always come back and see how many points they have, how many badges they've earned. So something very fun for students to explore here. Now, I'm going to come back here to my presentation because now we're going to delve deeper into those three features that we talked about earlier: Live Help, Review Center, and PaperLive. So let's take a look at this first scenario first. Here we have a student, and here you can go ahead and relate this to your student. If you can already visualize, yes, that's 100% my student, you can go ahead and start thinking about that. So first, we have this student who is looking for a little bit of help in that math concept that they just can't grasp. We're going to go ahead and see how Live Help can help support that student. I'm going to go back here to the dashboard, and I'm going to walk you through how your students can start a tutoring session. Now, something that you'll notice here are the subject tiles. And what's interesting about the platform here is that we have made it possible for your students to actually see the classes that they're currently taking this semester. So for example, if instead of Math 1, they're taking geometry or algebra, that's the name of the course that they'll see listed along with their teacher's name. So it becomes a lot easier if that's the subject that they have questions on. They can just go to Math 1 or math, whatever level of math they're taking, and click on Ask a Tutor. That's going to take them directly to a tutoring session for that subject. Something else they can do to start a tutoring session is come to this box here. They can go ahead and type their questions, or they can also upload a file, and the system will do its best to match them with the most appropriate tutor. Now, we know that math can be challenging, it's tough, it can be frustrating. So let's go ahead and take a look at what a math tutoring session can look like. So here we are. It's a matter of seconds to get connected with tutors here because they are available 24/7. And here we can already see that my tutor is grading me. A reminder again that these are going to be chat-based conversations. So we're going to be sending messages to the tutors. So here I can go ahead and tell her, hey, I need help with my assignment. What are you working on in math? Here we can let her know we're working on equations. And a different way that students can communicate their questions to tutors is by sending files, pictures, or screenshots of their assignments. So let me go ahead and make sure that we can see that button. They can do that by going to Send File here at the bottom. So let's say their teacher has provided them with a virtual worksheet that they need to complete that has the assignment that they need to work on. Or maybe they have a physical textbook that they're using to work through their assignment. They can actually go ahead and take pictures or take screenshots of those files and send them for the tutor to see. So it becomes a lot easier, and they can just explain, hey, this is what I'm working on. Can you provide me support in that? Something else that they can do is use a virtual whiteboard. They can go ahead and use it by clicking here on Draw. And here we can already see that our tutor is also supporting us in that and letting us know, hey, you can also use that button to let me know what you need help with. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And this becomes super, super helpful for any of those maybe science or math questions where students might require to work on a step-by-step basis. Here they can go ahead and draw their problems. They can go ahead and draw diagrams, graphs, anything they need. And when they're ready, they can go ahead and send it to the tutor. Here we can already see that the drawing has been uploaded. And what's very cool about this feature is that students are going to be working collaboratively with the tutor. So here I can go ahead and click on this. And this is something that my tutor will also be able to do. They can go ahead and click on draw, and that's going to open the drawing so they can add onto it and we can work together step by step. Now, something else that we have here in the chat is a way for students to save messages that they want to come back to later. Let's say they're working on a problem that they just have a feeling it's going to show up on a quiz or a test. They can actually go ahead and save that message. So I'm going to go ahead and just save this one. And they're going to be able, it's kind of a way of bookmarking that message. So by going to the history tab here on the left, they're going to be able to access all of the messages that they've bookmarked before, as well as all of their previous sessions that they've had, so their session history. Super key to mention here that sessions are saved. They never go away. So students can go as far back as they need to maybe get a little bit of a refresher in how a tutor provided that support, the explanation that they gave them for how to solve a problem. So here I can go ahead and click on bookmark so I can see the message that I sent just now and that I saved. And I can just go ahead and type here or click here to expand the entire conversation and get that context again. Now, coming back to my session here, we also mentioned that tutors are not going to just give us the answers. They're not going to tell me, hey, X equals to this, good to go. But instead, they're going to ask me those guiding questions, or they might start with asking clarifying questions so that they are 100% sure about what we need help with. They might ask me those guiding questions like, what have you tried so far? Why are we taking this step? To once again really allow us to think critically about what we're doing and how we're doing it. Now, because we want to make sure that we go through all the other features that we have for you all today, we're going to go ahead and end the session here. We're going to let our tutor know that we have to go so that we can also show you how your student can rate their session. So I'll let our tutor know. There we go. We'll send a message. And your students are going to be able to end their session by going to this button up here to the right, clicking on End Session. They're going to go ahead and confirm. And this is where they can tell us how their session went. Here, why did we end the chat? We'll just go ahead and say that we had to go. And was the session helpful? So this is super, super key for students to let us know, hey, how did it go? Did you feel better about it? Do you feel like you can tackle things on your own? Here, I'll go ahead and say yes. And here is where students can give us more comments. Hey, I really like my tutor, or hey, I still left the session feeling a little bit unsure, because our platform managers are always monitoring those sessions, like we mentioned before, and they're always trying to make sure that students are having the best experience possible. So this is super, super key. All right, so now that we've explored live help, let's go and check out our second scenario. This is a student that's revising an essay for their English class, and we know that writing essays or just writing in general can be a little daunting. There's a lot to keep in mind, a lot of ideas to think of. So let's explore how Review Center can support your students in this. We're going to come back to the platform, and we're going to go ahead and show you the different ways that your student can access Review Center. The first one is going to this button up here on the top menu, or they can also come here to the right side where it says Submit Work for Review. Here I'm going to go ahead and click on that button, and here your students are going to be able to upload their assignment. Now, your students are going to have two different options. If your students have their assignments saved on their device, and here we also let them know what type of files or formats we support, they can just go ahead and click there and select their work from their device. But if your student is using a Google Doc, a lot of students use the Google Suite to get their assignments done. If that's the case for your student and they're using maybe a Google Doc, they can go ahead and click on Google Drive and select it directly from there. So it becomes a lot easier. They don't have to go through the download, upload process. Super, super simple. Here, I'm going to go ahead and click on Google Drive. And I'm going to be able to select what I want to upload. So I'm going to look for my assignment here. There it is. And I'm going to go ahead and upload it. Here we can see that it's already there. I'm good to go in that section. Now, your students are also going to need to fill out a few other details to let us know more about their assignment. Why do we ask these questions? It's because we want to make sure that the feedback that your students receive is as personalized as possible and that it's as helpful as possible to them. So here your students can tell us the title of their work. We also did mention before that we support all types of writing, so they can let us know what type of writing work they've completed, their class, what language it's in, and super, super important, those teachers' instructions or any rubrics that they have as instructions for how they should handle their assignment. Again, we want to make sure that we're aware, okay, this is what your teacher is looking for. Let's make sure that that's reflected on your piece of work. And your student can also go ahead and give us comments. So maybe there's something in specific that they struggle with when it comes to writing, maybe citations, maybe that punctuation isn't always at its best. This is when students can go ahead and let us know so that the tutor can pay extra attention to those details. Here we can also see an ETA. So basically how long it's going to take for students to get that revision from the tutors. Here we can see that it's only going to take us 4 hours. It usually takes within a 24 hour period. So super, super quick, and students can always know how long it's going to take. When students submit, that's going to send it for a tutor to review, and they can go ahead and see a notification in their dashboard whenever that has been reviewed, so they can come back here. And what they're going to be able to do is download a document that's going to look a little something like this. And it's going to have all of the comments that the tutor has left for them. Now, this is an example from a middle school student that completed an assignment about a special moment that made a big impact in their life. So here we can see, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in just a little bit so that we can see those highlighted areas. If I go to those, I can see the comments that corresponds to those sections. So here, the tutors are going to provide comments in terms of grammar, structure, content, thesis, all aspects of writing. So students can definitely keep these in mind and definitely go back to their work, make revisions, and then submit for a grade. Alrighty, so that is Review Center. Now, let's go back to our scenarios. We're going to go ahead and cover the very last one that we have here. This is for that student that, they're just very, very curious about a specific subject, and they're so curious that they want to learn more about it, even if it's after school, because that's how dedicated they are to expanding their knowledge. If that's your student, then this is definitely for them. This is going to be PaperLive. So here we have this scenario about a student that's interested in learning more about astronomy. So let's go ahead and check out how PaperLive can support that student. Here we are back in the platform. Your students are going to be able to access PaperLive by going to this button in the top menu. And this is where they're going to be able to see all of the different classes that are offered to them. Again, we offer a variety of different classes that they can explore and expand that knowledge. Reminder that this is content that is provided after school hours for grades K through 9. So let's say your student's super into basketball, or they're super into, athletics, and they love that movement and really getting their workout done. Or maybe you just want them to do a little bit more than just sit and watch TV after school or play video games. Then this is definitely a class that they would be interested in joining. Maybe they're super interested in STEM and they want to learn more and they're curious and they want to do it in a fun way. That would be a class that they can definitely check out. Maybe astronomy, so that for that student in our scenario, they can go ahead and check out this class about space. And we have everything from Spanish, math, that financial literacy course as well. So here you can go ahead and see the times that they're available. These are updated every week, so you can come back and check out the catalog at the end of every week to check out, hey, what's going to be available for the next one, and sign up your student to join. So definitely lots of them to check out, and lots of them for them to learn even outside of the classroom. So we just covered a lot of information. So before we leave you, we're gonna go through the very last section. So we're hoping that you're still hanging in there with us and taking in all of this amazing information. We've learned what paper is and the features are tutors. We've explored how those features work and how they can support your students. Now let's go ahead and talk about actually implementing paper at home so that you can get started today. Now, something that we get asked from parents quite often is, how do I support my student when they're using paper? And this is a great question. The recommendation that we have for you is to log onto paper with your student, especially during those initial conversations that they might be having with the tutors, where they might be still exploring, okay, how do I phrase my question? How do I message back? How do I upload an assignment? So you can definitely be there for a little bit of guidance. The platform is super intuitive, but it could definitely take a little bit of practice for a student to really nail it down. So you can be there for that support. Now, number two, you can definitely use paper and build it, integrate it into your students' study and test prep routine. So we definitely want to support your students whenever they're struggling through those concepts, or maybe they want to make sure that they ace that exam that they might be having very, very soon. So you can go ahead and utilize paper for that as well. And of course, whenever your students have those writing assignments, you can definitely be sure to guide them to upload their assignments to Review Center, get those revisions, do it with time, apply all of those comments from the tutors, and have that good grade on those assignments. And as a parent and guardian pro tip, we also want to encourage you to, whenever you get those progress reports, those report cards from your students to check out, okay, this is how they're doing in their schoolwork, you can definitely help them out in identifying, okay, so it seems like this class is being a little bit challenging for you. Maybe that's a class that you can utilize paper for. So definitely, that's another way that you can integrate it into your students' learning on a day-to-day basis. Now, we want to make sure that we don't just tell you, hey, implement paper at home, but that we can also guide you through it. We want to provide you with all of the resources that you need to help support your student when they're using paper, and so that you can also feel confident with your student using it. So we're going to go ahead and show you what we have here. This is our parent and guardian's guide to implementing paper at home. Now, some of you might be familiar with this website. This is the website that you might have used to sign up for this webinar. This might be new for some of you. So this is where your student, or where you can come in and just delve a little deeper into paper. Here you can go ahead and do a little bit of exploration in how paper has helped support actual students and how their parents feel about it. You can hear from actual tutors and get to hear the excitement and the approach that they take in supporting your students. You can delve even deeper into the different features that we offer for your student. And this is where you can access all of those resources that we were just talking about. So here you can see them, that they're divided into different grade bands. So you can definitely do some exploration there. Here you can go ahead and read a quick overview of paper. You can watch a short video if you just need a quick reminder after this presentation about how it all works. You can also access our family scavenger hunt, and we're actually going to go through this activity because this basically walks you step by step in how you can go ahead and start completing activities and getting support in the platform for your students. And it's super, super fun. It's a fun way to kind of get started. So, and you can also go ahead and access a full year calendar that we're going to go ahead and show you very shortly as well. But let's still right into that scavenger hunt. You can go ahead and just click on that link, and that's going to take you again based on different grade bands to our scavenger hunt activity. Now, this, again, is going to walk you step by step so that it becomes super, super easy to get your students started. First thing, and this definitely we encourage you to do it together with your student. This can be a way that you both can learn more about the platform and both feel confident with it. So first, we're going to go ahead and provide you a quick reminder about how paper works, what you need to get started. We're going to help you once you log into paper. We're going to help you in how you can help and how your student can set up their learner profile. And we're also going to give you a quick reminder and overview of the Achievement Center. So again, how your student can start completing challenges and earning trophies, recognitions, and badges. Now, we're going to walk you through all of that so that we can actually help you complete your student's first challenge. So these other pages walk you step by step through that. So first, if you remember, to complete a challenge, a student needs to, one, go ahead and start a tutoring session, two, rate that session, and three, upload a writing assignment. So here we have provided you with an example of something that you can do. We are providing you with a prompt that your student can write about. And the first thing that they can do is start a session to kind of bounce back ideas from the tutors, help structure their essay, and get that support before they even start writing. We're going to remind you how your student can rate that session. And we're going to walk you through how your student can upload their work to Review Center. And we also mentioned before that it's super, super helpful for tutors to know, hey, what are you supposed to be writing about? What are you being graded on? Now, obviously, this isn't for grading, but here we're providing you with a rubric that you can use to also upload and let tutors know, hey, this is what's expected of me for this activity. You're more than welcome to use this, and we highly encourage you to use it to get that first step going and again, get you and your students feeling very, very comfortable with how to use paper and all the different features that they can use and how to take advantage of them. Now, going back to our presentation, we also want to share about that full year calendar that we talked about.
Thank you for that thorough explanation, Carla, and also just providing us with some info about the paper family scavenger hunt. But as we've explained a little bit earlier, if you access the parent resource guide, which we will have a QR code at the end of our presentation, you can download your own paper full year calendar, print it out, hang it on your refrigerator or another highly visible place. And we highly, highly recommend circling key dates, whether it be tests, whether it be days that you should be studying, whether it be days that you should be using paper to help you with a homework assignment or just prepare for any form of test, whether it be AP, whether it be elementary school tests, middle school tests. This paper calendar is built so you can use paper and feel confident that you're getting the support that you need.
Amazing. So definitely tons of resources for you all to check out.
And now that we've gotten to our Q&A section, we'd like to highlight some of the common questions that we get asked during our live webinars. And I guess the first and most important question is paper available just on the computer, or is paper available on mobile devices, Apple, Android, tablets even? And the answer is yes, paper is available on all those different platforms. And if you want to download the app, search or type in Paper Education. One more time, that's Paper Education. Type that into the App Store, and you can go ahead and log on to paper, connect with a tutor on your phone, tablet, or computer. The next common question that we have, is paper available K through 12, or is it only available K through 8? And the answer for that is typically, and in most cases, paper is available K through 12 for all subjects. But we do have certain situations and circumstances where schools only have paper available for their 6th to 8th graders. So what we recommend doing is contacting your school administrator or sending us an email, parents@paper.co, with your school district, and we'll let you know if paper is available for your student and all the different types of subjects that they have at their disposal. And our last question is paper 24/7? Is it free? Is it live? All those things are 100% true. Whether it be PaperLive, whether it be Live Help, and even Review Center, you can get the support that you need within a day's time if we're talking about Review Center or less, or instantly connect with a tutor for live help. And last but not least, join a PaperLive session. Register for your time slot. We have sessions every week. They're live, they're interactive, they're informational, they're educational. So we highly recommend using all of the different features, especially because they're available 24/7 and they're free for all students.
Amazing. Those are great reminders. And again, like Brian mentioned, these are commonly asked questions of parents. So we definitely want to make sure that we can clarify all those doubts for you. But in case you didn't get to ask your questions, we want to make sure that we can that you can always reach out to us whenever any of those questions, suggestions, comments arise. So you can go ahead and contact us at parents@paper.co. We're always happy to hear from the parent community. We want to make sure that we can support you in every step. So you can go ahead and use that email address to reach out at any time.
And also, now would be a great time to pause the video and scan the QR code in order to access the parent resource guide, which has things like the scavenger hunt, the paper foliar calendar, explanations about all the paper features, stories from tutors, stories from students who currently use paper. So many helpful resources, so many helpful tips. So you can either scan the QR code or click the link found in the email below.
Thank you all for joining us. We're very excited that your students have access to this resource, and we can't wait to see them on the platform very, very soon. Thank you all.
Thank you.